champions crowned.
Now time for the Super Bowl MVP, Cooper Kupp.
But there was more happening on Super Bowl Sunday than just the game. Taking action.
Trust me, I'm not going to fight you.
As protesters creep closer to the U.S. border. And Florida National Guard troops ordered out of Ukraine.
An invasion could begin, a major military action could begin by Russia in Ukraine any day now.
As the country's leader speaks with President Biden. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Julian Davis.
And I'm Zitlali Sarache. Today's Monday, February 14th, 2022.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
The Rams reign over the NFL as they are the last team standing at the end of the season. The Los Angeles Rams won the Super Bowl for the first time since 1999.
Yesterday, the Super Bowl Rams receiver Cooper Kupp finished with 92 yards off 8 receptions, including the game winner with just nearly a minute left in the game. After the game, he mentions revelation prior to the game.
I don't know what it was. There's just this vision that God revealed to me that we were going to come back. We were going to be a part of a Super Bowl. We were going to win it. And somehow I was going to walk off the field as the MVP of the game.
A double win for Rams wide receiver Van Jefferson, as well as he expected his second child last night during the game. There's a lot going outside of sports last night in the Super Bowl, including the historic halftime show and celebrations outside the stadium. We'll have more on both later on.
This morning, the bridge that separates parts of Canada from the U.S. is clear, but there are still protests in Canada that are threatening the trade between the two nations. The protests are against COVID-19 measures. Over the last several days, truckers have shut down the Ambassador Bridge from Windsor into Detroit. A police crackdown cleared the bridge over the weekend. The effort has led to other peaceful protests in other parts of Canada and the U.S.
A day of service and love this morning for students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. It's to honor the 17 members of the school community who died 4 years ago today at the hands of mass murderer Nicholas Cruz. Some of the students opted for excused absence today. Others are participating in a service project from 7:40 a.m. until 11 a.m. today.
Every diplomatic step is being done to take out of war between Russia and Ukraine. Despite the effort, it's no longer safe for members of the Florida National Guard to be there. As Fabio Lopez from our D.C. Bureau reports, they have been ordered to leave.
160 Florida National Guard troops have been ordered to leave Ukraine as tensions with Russia continue. The soldiers have been stationed in Ukraine since November and have been ordered by Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin to leave the country and be repositioned elsewhere in Europe. Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby tweeted that the order was made out of, quote, an abundance of caution. He also assured that the U.S. remains committed to supporting Ukrainian armed forces. In a press conference, Kirby stated what the U.S. plans to do if Russia decides to invade Ukraine.
If President Putin decides to take military action, we will swiftly impose severe economic sanctions in coordination with allies and partners around the globe. We'll bolster Ukraine's ability to defend itself. We will reinforce our allies on the eastern flank of NATO.
Tensions between Russia and Ukraine have been ongoing for years and have come to a head in recent months, with Russia increasing its military presence within the country. President Putin has met with President Biden, French President Emmanuel Macron, and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, as diplomatic efforts to prevent a Russian invasion continue. As of right now, countries around the world continue their efforts to ease tensions and prevent an all-out war in Ukraine. I'm Fabio Lopez for the South Florida Media Network.
A little girl is expected to make a full recovery this morning, which is amazing when you consider what happened to her. As reporter Gabriela Arzola tells us, the girl fell 20 feet Saturday from a gondola ride at the Florida State Fair.
The sound of bystanders in absolute horror. Rebecca Gade and her family were at the Florida State Fair Saturday night when suddenly she heard screams.
You could just hear everyone was like freaking out. Everyone was like gasping when they saw the girl.
A young girl who fell from the Skyrider gondola. Paramedics rushed to the scene to get her out, and you can see Rebecca's cell phone video, dozens looking in shock.
all you could see was like the little girl laying down. She was like basically unconscious.
Officials say what happened here was an accident, but now the topic of safety is on a lot of people's minds.
I was just extremely surprised that they didn't have more security measures and safety features.
On these gondolas, the only safety feature is a loose-fitting lap bar. The Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services inspects all fare rides, but officials don't believe it was a technical malfunction. Investigators say the young girl will make a full recovery, but for folks like Rebecca, this video is a harrowing reminder on how even the slowest of rides could be dangerous.
That was Gabriela Arzola reporting. The Florida State Fair in Tampa remains open and will have its last day of the season 1 week from today.
Super Bowl celebrations get a little rowdy in Los Angeles.
That's still ahead, and so is the story. A superstar performer taking a knee during the NFL halftime show. Newsbreak will be back in just 2 minutes.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
If a natural disaster shows up at your doorstep, you can't just turn it away. That's why it's important to prepare for emergencies before they show up. Go to ready.gov/plan to find the tools and tips you need. And make a plan today.
You really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hip-hop halftime. Some of the stars of rap in the 1990s and early 2000s taking the stage at the Super Bowl and bringing down the house. Rap icon Eminem took a knee during his Super Bowl halftime performance last night.
Many people thought the gesture was a nod to Colin Kaepernick, but the moment also happened during a piano tribute to Tupac Shakur, which also leaves speculation that was in remembrance of the late rapper. His gesture during America's most watched game comes at a sensitive time for the NFL after fired Miami Dolphins coach is suing the league over alleged racial discrimination. Super Bowl 56 marks the first time ever that hip-hop artists were the main performers during the halftime show. Dr. Dre, as well as legends Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, and surprise guest star 50 Cent.
Fans took to the streets of downtown Los Angeles to celebrate the Rams' Super Bowl win. But police were called in when things got a bit out of hand. Officers rushed to respond to reports of violent and destructive behavior as crowds ran through the streets. Vandalism and destruction of property were reported. Police ordered the crowds to break up and asked fans to celebrate responsibly.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Julian Davis.
And I'm Zitlali Solache. And happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.